We can start. I mean, we're just here to answer questions, right?
Much better, thank you.
Sure.
I was about to type that some of these questions are a little too complex to,
Right.
they're just a simple question answer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why we have Mr. Snider here.
Well, I don't want to monopolize. I'll have a lot of questions because I really am new to Canvas since my courses are very speaking, listening, experiential, and feedback oriented. If others would like to ask specific technical questions first, then I do have something that's more complex that I would want to ask. Can we do that?
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
This is a really dumb question. How do you create a backdrop like you guys have virtual backdrop for my Zoom? Because I looked at settings, but I didn't see anything for virtual backdrop.
You're using the client, aren't you? The desktop version? And in settings,
Instead of my Zoom site.
Sometimes if your computer doesn't have the necessary requirements, it won't even let you choose. Do you know how old your computer is?
It's a Mac Pro. It's a 1.5 years old.
Oh, yeah, well, it should.
Yeah.
You might try downloading the Zoom client.
Zoom client?
Yeah, if you go to zoom.us/download, you can download the actual application, the Zoom application for your computer. And I think you'll be able to get more features that way.
Thank you. Okay.
yeah. Mine would let me see that feature, but it wouldn't work before they made a change because my machine is from 2013. So it's quite old. Linda, why don't you go ahead and do you want to see tell us what what is it you want to ask, Linda?
Oh, okay, thank you. So I have realized that the students in my class are separated in Canvas, and we will be using some components of Canvas for asynchronous work, while the majority is very feedback-based. But our SMU students, for example, are all enrolled in ESL 6001 Seminar for International Teaching Assistants, which is one of the 3 different courses I teach. But visiting scholars have to be enrolled administratively, and they go under a different course number, 6011. So even though if we were face-to-face and when we're in our Zoom sessions, everybody's together, but in order for them to interact as a class on Canvas, on discussion boards and such, I was going to put in a ticket and ask if these 2 different course numbers can be merged. Addie sent me a little information, but I'm really just so swamped at this point. I'm just hoping that it can be done. So 6001 is the parent, 6011 is the child, and I hope that I can get that taken care of.
That can be done.
Okay, and I'll still send in a ticket because I would think you'd need those details for the 3 different sets of course numbers.
If it's slow here this afternoon and no one else shows up and we've got time, we'll just do it. But yeah, it's quite easy to do. We could even do a Zoom session and I can show you how. It's
Okay.
just a few steps. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing to ask.
Okay, and another request too is to get the new template that was used in the online course training instead of the previous existing template. So I have the new template from CTE on 6001, but all of my other courses have the other template from OIT, and those are fine, but I would like them to be the same. And so I was learning with the new one. Or does CTE need to do that because that's their template and Addie had installed it for me during the training?
I'm not sure how to answer. Cassidy?
Oh, okay.
So
I'll
hang
check
on.
back with CTE on that. I think that's their area.
No, what college are you in, Miss Linda?
It's Dedman College, the English as a Second Language program.
All right, you
Or
can contact
international.
Faye Walter, your ATSD, and she can install it for you.
Okay, yes, thank you. That's
I-
right, I know Faye is our ASTD, but Addie has been, leading the training and answering the questions. So
Yeah.
I'll get with Faye too, thanks.
I think either of them can help you with it.
Mhm.
So just to keep people rotated in, we'll answer a question and then switch people, answer a question and switch people, just so we don't miss anybody's questions. So I believe one of you had raised your hand a second ago.
I did. You can hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. The question I had was if I schedule an exam and I have a very large class and the whole group is taking it at the scheduled time period, but it looks like I'm going to be scheduling not only accommodating for DAS, but also accommodating for international students. So I can handle that. But the concern I have is last semester, unavoidably, I had a handful of students that had problems with the Wi-Fi, and in the middle of the test, it stopped working. Some of them were able to get back to it and continue. But then I also had some complain that, oh, the fact that my Wi-Fi went out, it ate about 10 minutes. I couldn't connect right away, and it's not fair that I don't get the whole time. And I mean, I can understand, but I don't know how I can fix that from my end. And I know I tried several things at the time, and I don't know if they were effective or not, but I didn't know if you had a solution or a simple solution to it.
What's wrong, Steve? You're not answering.
I thought you were going to answer it. Sorry about that. It's a quiz, right?
It's a test, and it will involve the Respondus lockdown browser. I'm
Okay.
using only new quizzes this time around, so I've abandoned the classic quizzes. And last semester, I just remember going for the student that had the problem. I went to Canvas where I had set out the test. I would find that student, and I was trying to give him an extension, but I don't remember if what I was doing is putting that student name again and trying to give them a longer time window. But I think the problem was that I was afraid that I would have to delete them first, and that would completely get them off the test, because I don't want them to start the test all over. If they're going to take 2 hours to take the test, I don't want them to be stopped within an hour and a half, and then they can't continue. They have to take the whole thing over. That
Since it's
would not be good.
new quizzes, do you want to show her from your screen, Cassidy? I'm not
So-
that, it's moderating, isn't it?
Yes. So
I'm
in
not sure
order
what-
to add time to a student, as long as the quiz is still active, you can use moderate and add time to the student on the fly. If the quiz has concluded, either by the timer is run out or the until date that you set up has passed, there is no way to let the student continue where they left off.
Okay. But if it's still going on and we're in a panic because it's going to expire, I can go, you said, to moderate the quiz
Yes, ma'am.
and then just add time there?
Right.
Yep. So let
You
me
wouldn't
share my
have
screen
asked
real
me-
quick.
Yes.
And we go down to quizzes. And I'll just pick a random quiz here. So you'll notice on the right-hand side, there's this moderate this quiz.
Mhm.
If you
It's a new
click,
quiz that she's got.
and then you go down to a student who's taken the quiz, you can provide them extra time. Now this time is added on to the quiz. So if you've given them 120 minutes and you add another 30, then that will give them a total of 150. It adds together like that.
Okay.
New quizzes show this in a different place, doesn't it?
So it's the same idea, same
Well, I
moderate.
know, but the options in a different place, I think. Is it in settings? I don't recall.
It's
Ah,
right at the top.
it's cleverly marked. Okay, that's handy. Thank you.
So if you click on that moderate, it's going to show the exact same thing that you had before.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so if they contact me, say they had a power outage and they were in the middle of the exam, so now the time has expired because the power outage lasted a couple of hours. So then I hear from them saying, okay, I didn't finish my test. What do I do now?
So it's that same moderate option, but instead of giving them more time, you'll give them another attempt, and they'll basically start the quiz over again.
I suppose if you wanted to deal with it, you could have them take it again and then look at their previous submission and give
The
them
difficulty I would
points.
have with that,
Yeah.
because initially I was thinking I can look at their test and then see if they stopped at question 30 and they only had 10 questions to go. I could go and get the 10 questions that were remaining for that person to continue. But the problem is that all of my new quizzes will be shuffling the order of the questions as well as the
Yeah.
answer choices. And also they're going to be pulling from individual test banks.
Okay.
So there's no way for me to say, let
No.
me, it basically would have to mean you have to take the whole test all over again.
Right.
Which,
Mhm.
yeah, I can understand it wouldn't be a pleasant thing to do, but that's the only thing.
Act of God, right?
Yeah,
God's misbehaving. He's acting out.
well, you'd be surprised how many of those situations come up on
Oh, yeah.
test day.
Crazy.
They don't have any problems logging in during class time. Their Wi-Fi works, but the day of the test, all of a sudden, I can't connect. There's a problem. And there's no way to prove otherwise, right? It's,
Yeah.
Academic honesty, right?
oh, I tell you.
Hello, Seema. Glad to see you here. Did you have a question for us? Oh, I have an editor. Right. Sorry about that. There you go. That's. It won't let me unmute her.
Maybe I'll promote to panelist.
No,
No.
Jumped out.
she's back. Seema, can you unmute yourself? We've got a problem with that. The way they set this up this afternoon, it's not. It doesn't work out as well as we'd like. Are you able to speak now?
I didn't have a question. I was listening in.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Randall, I saw you raised your hand.
Yes, I had a question. I was wondering, it's probably typically clueless here, but so it may be a Zoom feature rather than Canvas. I'm just not sure. But what do you guys think about respondents' browser? In other words, during an exam, I want to definitely use the what is it called, where they can't use the internet.
Lockdown browser?
Yes, sir. But I also, but then, okay, down, yes. And Musami was telling me about that, and it sounds like that's really simple and useful. That's clear cut. But then the question about the respondent's browser, I feel it's a little creepy, but on the other hand, it might prevent them from looking at their phone. What do you guys think during an exam or a quiz?
So Lockdown browser has an addition called Monitor that
Okay.
on their camera and records them while they take their test.
Wow.
So you can review those videos inside the Canvas link if you believe someone's cheated, if they get an exceptionally good grade or, something like that, and you want to look at that video, you can look at that as well. And when they tend to like look away from
Yeah.
the monitor and stuff like that,
Yes.
monitor will flag them as possible infraction
Amazing.
and look at the whole list and review any of those flags as well.
Okay, Cassidy, for lockdown browser, what is it called, that feature?
Monitor.
Monitor, thank you.
And when you go to lockdown browser and you say, I want to use it for this quiz, one of the very first settings, a checkbox that says, would you like to use monitor, something to that effect. And you check that box and it'll turn all the monitor settings on for you.
Okay, do you use it?
I have in past classes that I taught, yes.
Okay, thank you.
If I can just let him know in advance, it's they will tell you, the responders lockdown browser people will tell you, it's nothing but an attempt to diminish the initial attempts that students might think, oh, I can just do this, I can do that. There's nothing really you can do other than to threaten that, hey, I'm looking at you. I had this happen where I used it in the spring, and then I would look at the report on that I would get, and sometimes it will give you a red bar like high, watch this student is cheating or something, right? This high level problem. And the problem is that the student probably didn't have enough lighting, and it's kind of hard for the camera to detect their face. I think sometimes that was the problem. At other times, I did see a student that had a lot of red flags. And when I watched actually the video, yeah, the student spent the whole time looking at it looked like at a different screen.
Okay.
So I have no idea what was happening. But the problem I had is I didn't know how to say you're in a violation of the honor code because the monitor shows me that you're not looking at the test.
He also could have had one of those new fabulous big round, curved monitors, or he could have had two monitors and the camera was here, but he was looking over here, but yet he was still on the same screen. It's possible. So it's hard to.
Well, that's the whole
hard to
problem.
say.
There's nothing really I think you can do even after you see this red flags everywhere, because I don't think it's exactly necessarily accurate. The only thing that I think I've learned at this point is that if you set, to tell the students, this is what I got a recording of you, it's more a threat than anything you can actually use. The other thing is, yes, you can see them take the test, but if you try it yourself and you put your phone right at the appropriate place and you're looking at the monitor, it doesn't show it. It doesn't show. It may look like you're taking down notes or you're having to do calculations or something. There's no way, because you don't see the student's hands. You don't see what they're holding.
Okay.
So it just, I don't know. It's one of those things that make us think, I think, professors, that, oh, they're using the responders lockdown browser, so there's not going to be any cheating and it's all going to be fine. And I don't know. It just depends on the individual. I think those that really want to cheat will still figure it out on how to cheat.
A lot of it's judgment call and looking at it. Some of it's real obvious and some of it, like you say, is not obvious at all as to what they're doing.
I think it's probably, for me, more important to see that there's only one person in front of the camera taking the test the whole time, so they're not getting assistance. And also at the same time that it is the person taking the test. Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention is that students had said, after I gave the first exam like that, some of them were saying, well, it took 5 minutes or so in order to get started with it because it wanted my ID, it wanted my pictures, this and that. So they felt outraged that 5 minutes of their test taking time was taken away by using responders. So
With an extra time, initially say this is a 30-minute quiz, but I'm going to give you 35, 40 minutes, so that you'll have time to get started on it. So don't worry about that. So that's the way to handle that. Just give them so much more time just in the available date and time.
Steve, is that for if I use lockdown browser, as I will, but then it takes 5 minutes for the monitor function Is that what you guys are talking about?
It depends on how you have it set. It may have you show the room like this, or hold up your ID and take a picture of it so that they know who
Okay.
you are. It goes through a handful of things like that if you have it set up that way. You can have it just set up raw where it just starts to record. It all depends on what you want.
But each quiz in the class, each exam, you'll have to redo that, or is it only once for monitor?
Every time.
Every time, damn. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just give them extra time.
Okay, thank
Not
you.
even moderate, just the other part of the quiz.
Anybody next?
Is there a limit on the amount a Canvas can hold? I mean, again, I'm probably clueless about this, but I understand now if I record, my lecture is going to be recorded automatically with Zoom, but then do they go to the cloud automatically, or are they a local server?
So when you record with Zoom, we now have it integrated with Panopto and Canvas. So when you record to the cloud, it actually transcribes the video and then drops it into your Panopto folder.
Okay.
And so there was a beautiful email that came out today with a link to the guide on how that works. But basically, it drops it into a folder called recordings, I think, inside of my folder, which is not your course folder. So if you go into Panopto inside your course, you'll need to navigate to my folder and move that video to whatever course it belongs to. And the great thing about Panopto then is it will automatically close caption it for you. It's
Wow.
80% accurate.
It
So
indexes
with your
too.
big words, you probably, if you're using big $10 words with scientific whatever, you may want to go in and review those closed captioning to make sure they're accurate.
All right, that's amazing. Well, is it archived though for the whole semester, only for a month, or what?
Forever.
Forever.
Forever. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and what's cool is it's also, if you really dig into the instructions that we have online, you can also map you can map a Zoom meeting to a course folder. So like if you wanted to get even more fancy, you could actually map all of your Zoom meeting ID that you have associated with a course. You can map it to where those recordings automatically go into a course folder that the students can see, for example.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
There is a limit to what you can put in Canvas, but that Panopto doesn't affect it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What is it, 250 something? What was it?
Talking about different tools.
Yeah, no, but he asked about a limit in Canvas.
Right, but he's specifically referring to Zoom because it goes to Panopto. There's no limit.
Right, there isn't, no, but actually you can see it in settings, it'll tell you.
I have a question about once I publish the class, will my syllabus automatically be available for them? Is there a way to turn that off until the first day of class? Or should I just publish it the day off?
Is your syllabus, did you build out the syllabus like in the training course, or did you link a file?
Unfortunately, yes. They made me. And so this has been totally different than what I'm used to doing. I like to have my file and work on my syllabus, put what I think is important, what I know the students care more about, and then you can put in all the required things and that it's there. But this time around, it was, okay, you need to build this. And this was July. I didn't even have the book that I was going to use. I was still trying to figure out what kinds of assignments I was going to make. So, but in any case, I ended up with this horrendous long syllabus, and then I had to edit it a million times because just about a week ago, we got the official wording on what has to go. So I had to copy, paste, replace things out of it, to, I guess, have everything that needs to be there. What I wanted to know is that once I go ahead and publish it, I'm guessing it's all visible.
You can't unpublish a syllabus, but you could, I suppose you could hide it. Yeah, you could do that.
Well, when you,
Hide the button.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know how to do that?
well, it looks like when I go to the syllabus, it opens up and I've tried to see here what the students see, but obviously right now, because it's unpublished, they don't see it. I'm just thinking that once they go to the home page, the first thing is that template that we were giving, which is, you know, the welcome, blah, 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 that has the stuff. And I think that's where you click syllabus or start here, and they can see the syllabus right there. I don't know, when I click syllabus, it's just there. And that was my other question. I didn't know, how can I convert that syllabus that's there now into a Word document?
So the syllabus is a navigational item in your menu here.
Yeah.
So you can go to settings and to navigation, and you can disable the syllabus.
Oh, without moving it
Save
down,
it.
just disable it?
Yeah,
That's
you
just
can
the
disable
same.
it, but you got to remember to hit save here at the bottom.
Right.
You can drag it down if you want.
Right.
Hmm?
So, and then the other thing is if you've chosen your home page to be your syllabus, have you done that, or you use modules, or what do you use for your home page?
When I bring it up, it just pops up whatever the template
It's
gave
a
us. It's just a
very
picture of SMU, and then it has 4 little things that says, oh, syllabus, grades, and modules at the bottom.
page. It's just a page. I believe it is.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it's a page, when you hide the syllabus, you'll be fine to hide the syllabus. And when you're ready to, on the first day of class, go back into settings, go back into navigation, and you can either click the 3 dots and enable it, or you can drag this up to where.
Yeah, okay, so that would, well, I'd have to test that, I guess. If I put it there, I know the tab on the left is going to disappear if I move that out of going through the navigation.
Mhm.
But since the
you hit
front
the link.
page of it has a little tab to click on it.
Mhm. Yeah, if it's a link, it wouldn't matter. It would still take them to it.
Yeah.
Just like when I build courses, I often hide assignments and quizzes and all these things to force people to go through modules. So it may very well, it may be that way, yeah. Mhm. Since it's a link, because the link doesn't change.
So it would still show up even if I hide the syllabus tab.
Yes, well, if they click the link, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hide the syllabus page. It just hides the little button on the side. So
Right,
if you have
right.
a link to the syllabus in another place, you would have to remove that link, or at least
Yeah.
disable the link for, you know,
Comment it
temporarily.
out, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's just hard to know what all I control and what else was given and put in there. But
Of course, it's technically all under your control, but it may not be obvious. So
I
get
could
it.
turn all of it off
Yeah.
and do it all.
Yeah.
I'm having some of the same issues, Tanya and team. This is Linda Evans. And, you know, I am using that new template, which is helpful to me with the structure, you know, being newer to Canvas. But I also noticed that the syllabus and I did add all of the new language from the provost, and it's tremendously long.
Yep.
Because I did have to delete things that are not relevant, you know, grades and such are not relevant for my courses, but all of that information, it's one long document. So Steve and Cassidy and Graham, I was wondering, is there a way to split it up so that students can click on subcategories like the course policies, the netiquette, you know, and also go right to the dates and the, you know, what I consider to be the key part of the actual syllabus.
Linda, when you're on that syllabus page that they created, if you actually
Yeah.
click on the syllabus, on the top right-hand side, it says Syllabus Navigation.
Okay.
So she has, if you click on it, it's got a little drop-down menu that, I mean, it doesn't make it disappear on the front, on the whole page that we have. But I'm just thinking if students were interested in going directly to some subsections of that,
Okay.
but those are things that they just put there. As I said, I've moved things around, I've copied things, and it's, you know, I've changed a lot of stuff too, I think, but I'm not sure what they really mark down as subheadings or how useful it is, but I noticed that they do have this. Mine has 4 parts and then subparts within those parts.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. But when I scroll down, it just looks like one long document.
Oh, I know, it's
All those
horrible. It's horrible.
policies before students can actually see the dates and the content.
Well, and you know, a student will just care for a couple of things out of your syllabus. What are the tests? How many tests you're giving them? How do you grade them? And how do their tests come about? Or maybe when their tests are.
Yeah,
That's usually what they're interested in. But yeah, this syllabus ended up being ridiculously long.
yeah. But Addie is helping me with it. And oh, by the way, guys, I got an email back from Addie that she's able to assist me with some aspects of the courses, but she just needs to be brought in as a course designer.
Okay.
So is that something that you're able to do on the spot, or do I need to put in a help ticket for that?
The template?
Yeah, please put in a help desk tip so we can track it.
To add her as a designer was the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. We can do it rather quickly, but yes.
So to answer your question earlier about the syllabus, if your homepage is a page and you link to the syllabus, if you hide it, when the students come in and try and click on it, they'll get this notification that that has been disabled and cannot see the syllabus navigational item.
You know, while we were talking, I did that. I moved away that little tab so they can't see the tab on the left-hand side. But then I went to the home page, and on the home page, I see the whatever the template has, and it's got start here, syllabus, grades, and modules. Those are the little tabs that are there, part of the image. And if I click syllabus, in my case, it opens up the syllabus.
Are you in the,
So
are you
that's a
student?
page.
Are you in the student view, or are you just looking at it as the instructor?
I was looking at the instructor. Maybe let me go to the student view and see if that's gonna.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
Okay, so here it is. Now I click on it. And it does have the little message that said it has been disabled for this course. Okay, so I guess my follow-up question would be, I can go ahead and publish this course Monday morning. My class is not until Tuesday, but I can send an announcement, and the announcement will get to all of the students via Canvas and their emails, correct?
Correct.
If they've set up their notifications, right? Correct. Yeah.
Well, that's a big if, true.
Yeah.
Okay, and that I can't help them with, because if they say they don't, would it be just safer for me to go to my SMU, get the class roster, and send email to students from there?
I believe that's official communications. So I think it's probably
That way I know that it's not like they didn't know where to go and what to do, because I need to send them the address to the first Zoom meeting. And I want that Zoom meeting to be different than the remainders, because there was a reason for that. There's something that I need because they may not know that I want them to sign into Zoom, but using the SMU Zoom, not just their own free Zoom that they get or they already have. And so for the first class, maybe they can just log in any which way, but from that point on, after the first class, I just have to make sure that I will set up my meetings that they cannot join unless they use the SMU Zoom.
Apologize for getting up and popping up and down. I had to get up for a minute. The cat wanted in, if you really want to know. So I'll try and keep it to a minimum.
All right, let's see. Mr. Randall, you have another question?
Yeah, yes. Just two questions. One is, do you guys think that our students today look at email? In other words, if I email the group, are they likely to, most of them likely to read the email?
I think I'll take the Fifth Amendment on that one.
I think they eventually will, but probably not in a timely manner.
Okay, so what's the most efficient way to reach our students?
According to what we have been instructed, that the SMU email address is the official means of communication.
Okay. Second question, and you don't throw me off the site. What is a module?
So think of a module as a container, and you put things in the module that you want in that particular container. It's like a way to put your course into pieces. So in most trainings and most people's heads, modules are usually like the weeks of the semester. In week one, you would put in the reading, the assignment, maybe the quiz or the discussion, whatever they need to do in week one. And then the next module is week two, what they need to do, week three, so on and so forth. Other people break it up into categories. I use this common analogy as like if you're teaching a health class and one module may be the circulatory system, and one module may be the respiratory system, and one module may be the nervous system, and you just move through them. So it all depends on how you want to set up your course, but by and large, most people set it up by week, so it becomes kind of a linear progression through the modules.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Thank you.
Who is actually recording, or not just recording, but making the recordings available to all of these sessions? I know some of them have already arrived to us at email and others are still pending. Those are really helpful. And I am waiting for the one on modules because Christina had a really good example of how she organized things in her modules, and I forgot to take screenshots, which was helpful to me on some of the other sessions.
You acted just like a student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that's exactly what students will do.
Yeah.
They'll just take screenshots because it's convenient.
Yeah, and for me, it's a form of, newbie training. But on that session, I was paying such close attention to what she was saying that I lost track of looking at her screen, and the visuals of her screen are what are more helpful, for me to remember what to do. So just hoping that'll come out soon.
I took the first one that I did was Monday morning, and I just got the video for that today. So I don't know if that's an indication on the turnaround.
Yeah, we have a team of people, I think actually editing these videos, and they're getting them ready and linked up on the website. So those should be coming out, on a rolling basis, but they should all be done pretty soon.
Yeah, I know that y'all are tremendously busy with all of this, and thank you so much. It's just really been helpful to get this support.
Absolutely.
He's always here to help you.
Yeah.
Is everybody remote, or are you on campus?
I'm at home.
Yeah, I'm at home too today. Sometimes I'm on campus.
Star Trek Enterprise, huh?
Yeah, today I'm on the bridge.
I did have a question, and I'm not sure I had asked this before, and it pertained to, I'm using Cengage, the editing company, the link to the book that I use and the test banks. And in order to make my assignments and make it easier for the students, so we had it integrated with Canvas. And I've already created all the assignments for the semester, and I've had help from their tech people to bring them all to Canvas. So from Canvas, I can see that all the assignments are there, but since the course is not published, they're not visible to the students. Obviously, they cannot see any of them. I just didn't know, and I guess maybe the answer is I just have to publish the course and see what shows up, because I didn't really necessarily wanted the students to see everything. I was a bit confused in which engine is the dominant one. Like if I want to make the due dates for the assignments and when they're visible. I know in Canvas I could control visibility, just turn it on or off. But if I set the dates and I said the assignment is made today and it's due by Friday, do I do that in Canvas, and will that take control over the other engine that I used? Because that other engine also had due date and availability parameters. So I didn't know which one was the one that would control.
So the short answer is both, and let me explain. Is if they're going through Canvas to get to the material,
Yes.
the Canvas dates take precedence. But if they know the URL to log in directly to the vendor, then those dates will need to be there.
Oh, so I should put the dates on both of them?
Well, only if you publicize the web address to log in directly to, let's say, McGraw-Hill Connect, or, whatever.
The way it is, they will see it on Canvas under assignments, and based on the dates, it also should show up in their modules. So all the students have to do is go and click on that assignment, and then that assignment will take them through to the website of Cengage, which is MindTap. So it'll take them to it, and now they're going to be doing their work in Cengage. And then when they're done, they're done. But then Canvas is going to grade it and show me the grades.
Right. So again, if they're going through Canvas, then those dates will prevent them from getting to the material if they're passed.
Except for I may have some of those students who may decide to, oh, I was already on MindTap and the assignment is there, so I just clicked on it.
That's true.
In which case, I have to have the settings on that as well, because, I mean, they have access to it. They can go directly to MindTap and play with that website.
Yep, that's all possible.
Oh, it can be so confusing, because do I have to be hiding it on both and just make both of them available in Canvas and in Cengage at the same time?
I would just use dates. It's far easier to set it up ahead of time.
So make all of it visible, just control it with when students can actually have them available.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I know this I had asked before, but it comes up every time. Once I say the due date is Thursday next week, I set the date. That's the due date, but then you have the available from this date, which is fine. I would say, okay, I'm assigning it today. I make it available today so the student can see it, but then you have until. If I make the until and the due date match, then after next Thursday, students won't be able to access it anymore. It's done. They'll just see a grade. But what happens usually is that I will have a student or more who will say, I want to look back at that assignment. And for that, I know that I have to change the availability, the until date. The problem I had in the past is that when I made it available, students who had not taken that who had not done that homework, they were still able to log in and take the assignment. And then they will tell me, but I have it, because Canvas said, oh, it's late, but it still accepted it. And I did not want to accept it. And I'm saying very firm, no late assignments, period. You're given plenty of time, you do it. If you miss it, you don't get a grade. But then if I make it available for them to see the questions, they can still do it. And then they come back and say, oh, it's graded. I have a grade, it's late.
Yeah, so your until date is the thing that controls access to the assignment at all. So yeah, your until date should match your due date exactly, if you want to cut it off at that exact time period.
So if I cut it off on that date and it's been graded, and the ones that didn't have a submission, I should go ahead and enter a 0. Will that prevent them then from being able to take that homework, do that homework after the due date if I make it available again?
No, if you make it available again, it's open to everyone.
But the due date would have expired.
Right, but it will show as late in the grade book, but it will allow them to submit it if you make it available again.
Even if I put a 0, because they get one chance to take it. And if I manually put a 0 as if they took it and got a 0, it would still allow them to get in.
Yep, because it's looking at those availability dates.
So that really stinks. Because I have those students that say, well, I just took this homework. I want to be able to look back at those questions. I want to be able to see what I answered, what I got wrong, what I got right, or just to study for the test. I want to see those assignments.
If you're talking about a quiz, a student can always go to their, and you show them the right answers, then they can go to their grades and still see the questions and answers.
Oh no, the homework assignments. The ones that are going to be coming from Cengage.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, the availability dates make the assignment available.
No way to turn that.
No.
Well, unfortunately, that's not what I wanted to hear.
You might see if there's something in the Cengage side of it. That's all I can say.
Oh, well, you're right. Maybe I can send them to Cengage and they can see the questions there, just not access them through Canvas. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know.
Or if you leave it open, maybe you can change the dates somehow in Cengage if you want to do that. I don't know about the Cengage product, so I couldn't say.
Neither did I. But since it's all got to be online, it's the only way to go through assignments. And
if you can get their attention in this busy time, you might ask the rep, but I know it'll be difficult, but still worth a try.
Yeah, it's.
Are there support pages or something like that?
Yeah, I did spend a lot of time with them because they had to show me how to do it, how to send them actually connected, integrated with Canvas. They seem to be under the impression that I just needed to worry about Cengage, not Canvas. But since I knew that you can actually control all of the visibilities and dates and everything through Canvas, I got a little confused with which is going to be the parent of the two.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see after that first assignment I make. I'll be calling on you.
We can't often support stuff like that very well because we don't have accounts with those publishers. So we're kind of driving blind. That's why we don't do much support with that stuff.
Okay.
I just wanted to say IT on campus has been tremendous. You guys are wonderful. One question I did have is, it seems that Canvas is being updated all the time. Did those updates ever interfere with the sites as they're arranged, or they're pretty careful about that?
Yeah, so Canvas updates once a month now, but most of the updates don't change like navigation or how you would get around.
Right.
Usually small incremental changes during the term, and the big changes usually come at winter or summer.
Okay.
Once the semester starts, your ATSD should be putting out any changes that might affect you once a month before they happen.
Okay. Are you, is the IT group generally pleased with the updates for Canvas, that it's gotten better?
I would say for the majority of things, yes. Some things to us seem less advantageous, but we have to remember that they serve more than just higher ed. You know, they also do K-12 and international schools. So some things may be for the benefit of people other than us. And so we have to open up our mind to those things. But by and large, yeah, I'm very pleased with what they do.
Thank you.
There's that one feature that we had turned off for a while, but they turned it on globally. It's the ability to turn off notifications on a per course basis. We think that'd be pretty dangerous for students to do if they don't want to hear anything about what you've got going on in your class. They turn it off, so they don't know. That's their problem, but it's not terribly obvious. However, I did have a faculty member who was just about to lose her mind because her dev course kept haranguing her, and she turned it off with the dev course, and that's fantastic for her. So I guess it has its strong points and weak points. I wouldn't advertise it, but it's there.
Okay.
And we haven't advertised it. It's not been a single email or anything we've sent out. So
Good.
I think there was just one recent change in Canvas that was very beneficial. I want to say maybe Faye showed it to me. When you're in assignments and you want to put dates, I think you have the ability to just click on some little place where it shows you all of the assignments as in a list, and then you can just go. It made it very simple, very visible to just put the dates there rather than go one by one.
That was a fantastic thing. Yes. There's also, if you're
Under
you go to
there,
the
yeah.
community, you can find their release notes and it'll tell you all of that stuff. Yeah, edit the assignment dates.
Yeah, I think that's a definite plus to just be able not see them the way you have them right now, but just click on that and then it populates all of them so you can
Yeah, it's way faster.
that.
I think can you do them in mass? Yeah, batch edit. Although I'm not sure why you might want to do that, but you could.
Yeah, just having it like that, it's so much better visually to be able to just pick and choose the dates with a calendar next to you. And yeah, this is definitely a plus.
I had some teacher was just about to lose her mind dragging things around in the calendar. She called me in tears and I said, "You're done. This is it." She said, "Oh gosh, that's fantastic. Solved her problem." Some of this stuff isn't just terribly obvious unless you stumble onto it or read the notes.
That's really helpful.
That just helped me too. I set up all of my assignments with due dates. They're not yet in modules, but already I've needed to change. I know I have to change some assignment configurations. So thank you for that tip on the edit assignment dates. I'll look for that feature instead of all the individual ones.
Do you have that quiz print thing handy? If not, I do. That might be, some of you may be interested in that.
What was that? I couldn't hear.
I'm sorry. There's a feature that allows you to, there is an extension to Chrome that will allow you to print quizzes. Let's see here if I can.
So I've just been told that we are out of time and our webinar is going to kick us out. If you want to learn about the print feature thing, you can contact the help desk and put in a ticket, and Steve and I can reach out to you directly. But we're about to get cut off, so I don't want to start a demo and then halfway through we get.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, you
We're
guys.
going on to the next one too.
It's been really helpful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later or sooner. Okay, bye.